Hello Fire Emblem community! I have been a huge fan of Fire Emblem since the days of Super Smash Bros. Melee, but I only got into it with Awakening. I believe Fire Emblem Heroes is a great game which features an awesome symbiosis of depth and simplicity at the same time. With the introduction of the inheritance system, the game offers much more content than before. The best part about this is that you get to create this content yourself by changing heroes in whichever way pleases you. I have been enjoying myself immensely and wish to share this excitement with my community. Thanks to Holix and Xnira's encouragement, I'll do my best to provide some quality content. This is my first YouTube video, so not everything is going to be perfect. I hope you can forgive me for that and wish you enjoy yourself whilst watching my videos. I have chosen to do an in-depth analysis of a Deathless arena run to showcase the abilities of my team. I'm a free-to-play player, so I have to make do with what is given to me. That being said, Intelligent Systems has been incredibly generous to me thus far. Hence I ended up pulling quite a few truly awesome heroes, some of whom form my preferred arena team. If I had more Pallas, Odins and some skill points, I would use Moonbow on all my units, though a case can be made for Julia and Iceberg. Now here's the plan. In total there are 8 videos in this series. In the first one I'll show which heroes are part of the team which is entering the arena. This includes the thought process that went into the ability builds I chose for each of them. Videos 2 to 8 will be one arena match each. These include an in-depth analysis of the opponent's team composition, what makes them dangerous, and how to deal with them. Alright, let's check out my team. This is the defensive team I put into the arena so some other players can get easy quests for flyers done. And here's the arena team. Alright, let's start off with Lucina. You can see that this Lucina has a defensive boon for +4 defense and a resistance bane for -3 resistance. So then I had to figure out what to do with Lucina. Obviously I want to play to her strengths. And what this specific Lucina is really good at is absorbing physical damage, so I decided to turn her into a quasi-tank. It's basically the main reason, yeah. If this Lucina had a speed boon maybe, then I would have chosen a desperation build for this B skill slot. And if she was plus attack, an attack boon, then maybe Vantage would have been better. But because this Lucina is tanky, I decided to go with Renewal. Also, something can be said about Vantage and Desperation working not very well together with the Falchion. Because what could happen is that Lucina is in Vantage range, but because the Falchion healed her up, the Vantage is gone and she takes unnecessary damage. And the same is true for Desperation. So she takes that damage which you didn't plan to take, and that could turn disastrous in the end. Probably not, but it could happen. So instead of fighting the Falchion's healing, I decided to embrace it instead and put a Renewal on her. So she can heal a lot, really. And as a support skill she has Reciprocal Aid to basically heal anyone up to full, if necessary. I was thinking hard and long about this choice. I was considering Ardent Sacrifice as well, but Ardent Sacrifice just heals too little. Ardent Sacrifice is too slow to do its job, so I went with Reciprocal Aid. Luna is here because I don't have any Odins as mentioned, and Fury is a standard skill, I would say. You put Fury in every single melee character. Ranged characters are probably better off with life and death, if you can protect them and don't have any specific builds in mind, which I do for my Linde, but I will show that later. So threat and speed is not usually chosen for Lucina. Usually you want to put threat and defense on her, right? So she can threaten the defense and attack next turn and eliminate the enemy. But in this team composition I'm running 1 physical damage dealer and 3 magical damage dealers. So if you reduce the enemy's defense, 3/4 of my team don't get any benefit out of it. So threat and defense it is. Yes, she's the tank of my team. Okay, continue on to Julia. You can see that this Julia has a boon in attack and her bane is in defense. So she's not very tanky at all against physical damage, but she wasn't very good at it to begin with, so I don't mind. This is actually a really good roll on her. I chose to keep the Naga because Naga is unique in the game. It's a very good tomb. It basically counters all the Noes, the blue dragons, that started popping up recently with the skill inheritance system coming up. All these blue dragons, they all have the Swordbreaker and the Triangle Adapt skills, which just in combination murder my Lucina. It's ridiculous. She is supposed to be a counter, but she gets countered by these two skills. It's a huge investment though, so that's fine. Yeah, let's see. I put pivot on her so she gets a bit more mobility, because you can see that Julia is very slow and has little defense. So what happens is if she gets caught, she is probably dead. So I need her to move around quickly. Dragon Fang is there because I don't have the SP to get anything else thus far. Resistance +3 is actually really great for a base skill. It's doing exactly what I wanted to do. I could put Fury on her. Fury is probably better in the grand scheme of things, but I don't have endless supply of Fury of Hinata, so I have to be careful with that. Maybe in the future I'll change it to Fury. And the core ability you can see on Julia, it might be not apparent at first, but the green Tomebreaker is super helpful with the matchups that you want to win. So what is Julia good at? Julia is good at walling blue tomes. She will have 35 base resistance. She gets 2 more from Naga, that's 37. And then from Linde's aura, 45 resistance I think it's called, +4. So she will end up at 41 resistance, which is a huge magical block. So you just put Julia against any blue or green tome and she will just tank it like a badass. That's really nice. So usually what happens in the arena, you don't really face many green tombs, but what do you see there? Enemy Julias maybe? And mostly the most threatening green tome in arena is Nino by far. Every single Nino I see in arena has more than 40 speed, and there's always some kind of support unit attached to her, like Erika. They like Erika a lot. So Erika is buffing up Nino crazy high. So Nino has like 46 speed or something with honed speed, and I kind of can't deal with Nino because she's a ranged unit. She's holding back a lot. So I chose to deal with Nino the way that the green Tomebreaker just completely disables Nino. You will see later down the road. And I chose honed speed on Julia specifically because speed is extremely important on your team. But because Julia doesn't benefit from speed herself, she's slow anyway, so you will never double. That's why I put honed speed on her. So she can give the aura to the other units, which can actually make use of that. Alright, next up we have Linde. I almost completely reworked Linde's kit. This took 2600 skill points to do. Took a lot of effort, yes. So I took Odin's Blarblade Plus to replace aura. So what happens is, in this specific team, Linde gets the buff from Julia for honed speed, and she gets the buff of Ninian for honed attack. So she gets +4 in both stats, and Blarblade Plus activates and she gets even more statistical bonuses to attack. So what ends up happening is that Linde will have 66 attack at the end. And 66 attack is precisely the number you need to deal lethal damage to a Takumi that is level 40 +10 with neutral HP and neutral resistance. So that's my Takumi counter right here. I got the Moonbow on her because, yeah, I just wanted to be done with the build, and it is done now, and I'm happy it's done. The grind was insane. So Fury is on Linde because I think she does work with Life and Death, but the thing about Life and Death is that it's a bit more difficult to activate Desperation. What this Linde can do with Fury is she attacks twice and Desperation will be active. If I had life and death, I would be reliant on one of my units taking damage, and then use Ardent Sacrifice to get into the desperation range, and sometimes you simply don't have the time to do that. Sometimes you need to attack, and there's no time to Ardent Sacrifice, so Fury is on average, I believe, a bit better. And Desperation is clearly the best skill for a player face-oriented Linde, because she has crazy speed. It's really fast. 39 at neutral. You really want that. And Fortify Resistance is on Linde, so she can support the Julia. I was mentioning her as a magic tank, so that's really nice. Yes. The last member of my team here, you can see Ninian. Ninian is surprisingly tanky. You can look at her HP and she has, I think, 8 HP more than any other dancer, or is it 6? I don't remember. Anyway, it's a lot more bulk that she has. And this Ninian has a boon in defense and Bane in resistance. I just forgot to mention it about Linde, but Linde is also boon attack and Bane defense. Back to Ninian. So you can see this Ninian is very fast. A 36 is really good. I put Fury on her with the intention that she will survive at least one attack. And she's super tanky. She can spank Ryoma no problem. It's ridiculous actually. I didn't expect her to be that resilient to damage, but she is. So what ends up happening is that she takes a hit and hopefully she ends up at below 50% HP, so escape route activates. I was actually considering from 3 days, I think I was constantly thinking about it, which one is better, escape route or Wings of Mercy. So the thing about Wings of Mercy is that it's easier to utilize, but you don't get as much mileage out of it because you can only use it on units which are low on HP. So in this team it would be probably Linde and maybe Lucina. That's it basically. So I don't get too much out of Wings of Mercy, so that's why I chose Escape Route 3. And as an all-round disease skill there's Hone Attack, because you want Hone Attack. That's it basically. Alright. This is the end of the first part.